Hey, welcome back to Perkins Garage. Got some stuff. So in the last videos, we were doing painting tunnel covers, and I was swearing a bunch about how much I pissed off at this truck. But anyway, my back's healing. That's all good. Got this nice sweatshirt. If you can't tell, it's square body grills. Yeah, I bought this to enter to win a square body, I'm pretty sure, from Hodson Motors. Go check those guys out. They do giveaways. That's where I get all my clothes, is from giveaways. I don't know how you guys are. Anyway, dedicate this one to my wife. We just got back from surgery today. She had a pretty major surgery, so she's inside resting right now, and she's doing good. And she's taking a nap. So I decided to sneak off to the shop because I got some parts. So I don't know if I said I was going to get it or if I said I wasn't going to get it. I said brake lines. I got some brake lines over there, but I didn't want to have to bend them up. So back during the China virus, or the Kung Flu, as I like to call it, I ordered this kit. It's a stainless steel pre-bent brake line kit for square bodies. I ordered it back then, so back in like 2001, 2020. I always screw that up. 2021, 2020. I can't remember what year it was. But I ordered this kit, and it was on back order for like over a year. And I'm like, what's going on with this? Because hell, back then I think it was under $200, but now it's like right at two. I think I paid like $207 for this one, for the 4-wheel drive stainless kit. You got to get the clips and everything, and I think everything out the door with shipping was like right around $280, $290. Not bad. It doesn't come with the soft hoses or anything. It's all the hard lines. That was with the clip. The brake line clips too that go on the frame mounts. So that's what I got here, and I'm gonna unbox it. So here we go. It looks nice. These things. Paperwork. This receipt. Well, everything came this time, so that makes me happy. Probably should leave this in the box. But this thing looks fancy. It comes with instructions. Yeah, shit. Okay. So yeah, it is pretty bent, but you gotta straighten it out. So here's the coils that go up to the master cylinder. Looks pretty snazzy. Pretty good looking unit here. So obviously this is the front of the truck. Yeah, that'll be the front. For lack of a better place, I'm just going to put it on the hood of the Chevelle. Yeah, right here. These must be the rears or something. I got the protective stuff on it. That looks pretty sweet. Oh, these probably go... Hell, I don't know. Anyway, I gotta get the proportion valves yet too, and the soft lines that go to the wheels themselves. What else is in here? Something's falling out. Is it? Let's have a union in here too. I don't see it. What was the set? Something must have fell out. Oh, there it is. Got it. There you go. There it is. There's the part. Obviously, this is a part I could probably just go to the hardware store and pick up. Get you a lot of them in Wave at Blaine's Farm and Fleet or Mills Fleet Farm. I think it's Mills, yeah. I don't go to Fleet. I don't get to Fleet Farm as much, just because got a farm and fleet that's like 10 minutes from my house. Fleet Farm has more stuff though. They're kind of nicer. I think Farm and Fleet's starting to. If you haven't hit, so. I'm from Wisconsin, so Beaver Dam tip-ups, the wooden ones, those are the best ones, by the way, in my opinion. Get those at, you used to only be able to get those at Fleet Farm. Now you can get them at Farm Fleet and elsewhere, but those are the good ones. Those are the ones you want. You get the ones with the, you get an American flag, or you get the Jolly Roger. I have a couple of Jolly Rogers and American flag. You can actually get a Jolly Roger tip up. When I pull the ice is here, it's going to get real thick this weekend because we're getting down into the negatives. Probably tonight, starting tonight. But like this coming Saturday is a high of like 1 or 0. Freedom units. We don't do that communist shit down here. Unless you're a liberal. Then sure. Whatever. Floats your boat. But yeah. We got ice coming. So gotta get the ice fishing stuff down. And I'm really looking at getting one of those decked units for my truck. It's a pull-out drawer system. Then I can put my ice shack on top of that. Be a nice thing to have. So, anyway, not tonight, but I don't know, maybe tomorrow night I'm going to start working on the brakes on Fred. So, see ya in real quick flash here. So, things have escalated quickly. It's been a couple weeks since what I just showed you. I did get a deck system for my truck, which is in the last video. I got that put in and everything. So you can see things have happened here. Got it on the first try. Look at that. Anyway, so ice fishing has begun. Got the deck system put in. Got Fred pulled out. We spun him around and everything. And used the flatbed because I got to get up on the ceiling here. I'll show you that in a minute. To get my ice fishing stuff down. Put that down on the bed and then got all that cleaned up and ready to go, and we actually just did some ice fishing yesterday. My son caught a 12.25-inch crappie and a little, like maybe 7-inch crappie. This little guy, but it was for a tournament for his fishing club. A lot of fun. Didn't really catch much because we were out on what we call the Dead Sea around here. I've never really pulled much through the ice. I actually have never pulled anything through the ice on that lake, but my son is what I call the fish whisperer because whenever I take him anywhere, he's catching fish. I don't know what it is. I could be using the same exact rig or whatever, but yeah, he catches fish. Anyway, brake lines are all ran on this. That LMC truck kit worked really well. I'll show you that in just a second here. And then, tonight I'm going to be working on the cab, finishing it, well, at least tacking in the other piece up in there, and then trying to tack and weld the rest of the sealing in there. Just get that section done. I got to get the brake rod that connects to the pedal inside the cab. It's like a, I call it eye bolt, but whatever. It goes on there, and I got to get that so we can get the brakes bled. And then it'll have brakes, and then it'll be on to, I gotta get a fuel system, I gotta get a fuel tank, that'll be the next order, and then fuel lines, I got fuel lines for it. Those clip in with the brake lines as well, so I'll be figuring that out too, and then it'll be on the motor trans and transfer case, get that shit in, we're gonna get this son of a bitch running. Alright. Okay, as you can see, brake lines are in. These are still loose because I still got to bleed it, but everything else is tightened up. That kit worked out pretty slick. I did have to buy a proportioning valve. It doesn't come with the kit. Get that at LMC truck. It's all ran. I got the lifted lines for going to the calipers. All new lines out back, obviously. Yeah, the front end is pretty much tidied up as much as we can. I got to pull the diff cover off, and I got to reseal it. The seal on the cover is leaking, and also I got to take care of this guy. If you guys are fans of Mortsky Repair, he shows these off often a lot. These vents get plugged up and it'll destroy your differential. I actually saw him pull one off where it had a vacuum inside there. So there's that. And then, like I said, on to finishing this debacle. I just want it to be done and out of my life. Oh, also got taillights for this thing. Once probably getting close to the springtime rolls around, I'll be working on that. I'm going to put a plate on there, and then don't worry about it. It'll be later on. But like I said, we've had to pull this out because up there is where I keep my ice shack and all my fishing gear and stuff, and we just laid her down right on the flatbed, and now she's in the back of my truck for the winter. So, all right, I'm going to get the welder set up, and start tacking this little son of a bitch in. Go from there. All right. So the middle section I'm pretty much now going to abandon. I'm going to grind what welds I have off on that because I've thinned it out so goddamn much that it's just ridiculous and it's hard to weld to. And I hate sheet metal. That middle section, I'm going to grind it off. I'm going to throw some seam sealer on it. And it's not going to look like that. So if you guys watch any of the other car restoration guys, you'll know that they like to use license plates for body panels. So I have some spares laying around, obviously, and I'm just going to bend up a freaking license plate and, I don't know, tack it on there or zip screw it to the ceiling. I don't know. Can't do it on the front because it'll go right through the top, but that's the plan. I'm going to graft a freaking license plate into there instead because that abomination should not ever be seen ever again. That just horrible. This one's not going so bad. But that one is just pissing me off like you would not believe, and I just booger welding the shit out of it. And I'm freaking done with it. So I'm going to clean that up the best I can. Like I said, get some seam sealer and throw those on there. Yeah, if you didn't notice. A couple of those are upside down. So, yeah. You know why it's so windy in Wisconsin? You ever heard this one? Because Minnesota sucks and Illinois blows. That's why it's windy here. Alright, I'm going to get back to it, get that other section finished welded or whatever, and just letting it cool down. Then I'll get that done for the night, and then I'll probably grind it and everything later this week. Get that section cleaned up, paint that, and then deal with the seam sealer and license plate on the middle section. So, alright, that's going to do it for me tonight. So, thanks for watching. More to come with Fred. And, yeah, we're moving along. Like I said, it's got to be running and driving by springtime. Nub crossed. Later, dear. Alright, continuing on from the previous whatever. It's loud here because I got the heat going. And so I showed you got the brake lines ran, but I got to get them bled. In order to do that, I got to hook the brake pedal up to the brake booster. So, in all my infinite wisdom, when I tore this sumbitch apart, I lost or threw away the rod that goes from the pedal down to the master cylinder, or the brake booster. It would be a master cylinder if you don't have power brakes. So I got this. So it's in the bag, I'll show you. So here's the rod that goes to the booster. I don't need that because there's already a rod coming off of it. My issue that I think I'm going to have is this is fine thread along with this. So I thought it was a horseshoe. Like in my Chevelle, it's a horseshoe that goes up and then you put a pin through it. On this, there's a pin already through it. You put this on it, and you put a cotter pin through that pin. I'll show you that in a second. So, actually, I might have already shown you on video. Anyway, this is all fine thread shit. You got the rod coupler. Just like that. That sumbitch goes into there like that. And there's a locking nut that you got to put on there as well. Like I said though, I think the rod that's on my booster currently is coarse thread. So if that's the case, I can't really do anything tonight with it. I'll have to get a fine, it's a coarse thread rod coupler, 3/8 rod. So I'm going to figure that out real quick here and then go from there. And I'll let you know. So I got the brake pedal and everything hooked up. It took some doing. The kit that I came with was not long enough, so the pedal would have been too close to the firewall. So I had to extend it, so I had to modify the, well, not modify. Luckily enough I have these rod couplers. These are fine thread. This is the fine thread rod that came with it. I had to cut part of that off. Keep these on my in my stash here, and then couple that, and then I had to take the other rod coupler because the rod coming off the brake booster is a coarse thread. I had to take my tap set and tap that out as a coarse thread. It was 3/8 but with 16, 3/8 by 16, whatever threads per inch. So I'll show you that real quick. So that's the monstrosity we got going on. So this little guy comes up on here. This is still kind of loose. I wouldn't mind putting something in there like a bushing or something.
but it should be fine. And then there, right there. If my finger can get in the way to show you. Where are you? Right there. This little guy is my little rod that I got coupled in there to make this pedal longer. And there it is up to the master brake booster. Oh shit! All right. So now, man, it'd be nice to just mount this frickin' seat down. All right. So now, let's see if we have a pedal. It does. That's why I'm thinking about putting a bushing in there, because it does flop around a little bit, but that'll get us on the road anyway. We'll think about that later down the road. So there's that, and now I can actually bleed the master cylinder. I wanted to work on this with my son. He doesn't really want to be out here tonight. Stayed up late last night watching the Bears. Did come back win for the second time against the Packers, so I'm kind of tired too. I was up late. I think I'm going to get it set up to bleed the master cylinder, and then me and him are going to come out here tomorrow night, knock all this shit out, get all the brakes bled. We'll have brakes on the truck. And then next up is working on the fuel system and getting the motor situated and ready to put in. Gotta pull the old transmission apart to see how to take it apart. They might make a video on that. And there's a guy that I follow now, the Ditch Pig. He does a lot of square body stuff and the SM465 stuff. I think I'm gonna pay attention to him closely and see what he does for tearing these apart, and then go from there. If you didn't know what I was talking about, these are my transmissions. One's got a cracked top case and some beat up parts on it that was used, which is that one. That was the one that came in the truck, and this is the one that I got from my cousin. So, yeah. Almost approaching middle January, so we're making progress to get this frickin' turd back on the road. So, I'm gonna keep plugging away. Alright, so I got the bleeder kit hooked up to the master cylinder. I'm going to bleed the master cylinder, and then I'm going to hook up the lines, and then tomorrow we'll do all the brake lines and shit with the vacuum, this fancy vacuum thing, or just bleed it manually. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do. Dot 3 going in. So this is basically what you would do for bench bleeding. I got hoses hooked up to the front and the rear, and they're poked back into the cylinder. And on a bench, you would just use like a screwdriver or a rod and shove it and watch the bubbles come out. This, I can use the brake pedal and watch from the windshield that doesn't exist. I can actually pull the dash pad down too, so you get a little better view. And then you watch the bubbles go away. That's a noise.
goes that. That's perfect. Cluster that I bought. That's great. Where the hell did that go? That'll take some JV weld. Son of a bitch. Anyway, let's go back to what we're doing here. All right, so I got the master cylinder bled. I already found a leak. See the drips on the old proportioning valve. That green one right here. That one, the green one. That one was loose. Happens to the best of us. I'm pretty sure we'll put Porter on the blame for that one. I told him to go back through and tighten everything up, but I was just standing here and, well, it was bleeding the air out, I guess. So, I mean, it's one way to do it. Got the lines hooked up. Master cylinder's bled. We'll just let it sit like this. See if we got any more leaks, I guess. And then we can re-bleed it after that. We'll bleed the brakes tomorrow night. So that's the plan. I'm gonna clean the mess up now that I have one. Fill the master back up, whatever leaked out from the front, and go from there. We'll get back on there tomorrow night. All right, see you in a bit.